Yoa! Welcome to episode 4 of JQ's Reviews. I'm Jared, and today I'll be reviewing the newest movie I saw, that is Baby Driver. So, I saw Baby Driver this past week, and I've got to say, it's one of my favorite movies of the year so far. Especially, not just because of, I could go on about the things I like about this movie. I like the characters, I like the action, I like the comedy, I like the usage of music, I like the stylistic approach that Mr. Edgar Wright, the director, takes to the movie. But I think what I like most of all about this movie is it is its own unique, fresh idea. Now, the other movies that I've reviewed so far on this channel have all been either sequels or based on intellectual property already. Now, obviously Guardians of the Galaxy is a sequel and it's a comic book. Pirates of the Caribbean was a fourth sequel, and a bad one at that, and based off a Disney ride, so still intellectual property. And Wonder Woman, once again, based off of a comic book. Now, this movie Baby Driver, it was its own brand new idea, and that was honestly one of the best parts about it. Was because I went into it and it was something new, it was something fresh, and it was brand new characters that I've never seen before, that I had no expectations for, and then I was able to have all those expectations met and, if not, exceeded. So, the basic plot of Baby Driver, I'm not going to go... Well, I probably will go into spoilers, but I'm not going to recite the whole plot. But basically, Baby Driver is the main protagonist, played by Mr. Ansel Elgort. Now, his point of the movie, his journey and whatnot, he is a getaway driver. And he has been wrapped up with Kevin Spacey's character named Doc. Doc is this, criminal mastermind, and Baby, when he was younger, stole one of his cars. Doc caught him, and rather than kill him, Doc decided he wanted Baby to be the getaway driver of all of his heists and to pay him back that way. So Baby and Doc have been working together very closely throughout most of Baby's life. We find out that Baby's actually an orphan at this point because his parents both died in a car accident. And we find out other stuff about Baby's family life, that it wasn't all that great at first, that he did love his mom a lot, his mother tried to be a singer, and it's his mother who he kind of grew an affinity towards music with. While in the car accident, Baby has had damage to his ears. I can't remember what it's specifically called, but in the crash, but he has this constant ringing in his head, so to drown out said ringing, he puts in his headphones and he listens to music. Now, this was a great idea to make him, stand out as his own character. Just, one of those little quirks about him that was really cool. He plays music whenever he's driving. He needs the music to be, exactly right. They actually have a scene where he, has to start the song over because the other guys in the truck who are supposed to go, make the robbery aren't moving fast enough, so he has to start the song over and tell them when to go according to the cue of the song.
What's you listening to?
Oh, let me check.
Tequila.
Baby's also he's a very cool character, not just because he's not just he's wrapped up with these criminals, but you never get the idea that he's a criminal. You always like him because you can see his character shine through from the very beginning when they show the different robbers inside the building while he's waiting for them. They're in the bank and they have their guns up, and you can see that Baby's like looking at that, and he always has this nervousness about death. He never wants to see any of these robbers that he's with kill anyone. He actually goes out of his way to stop them at certain points and to make it look like, it's an accident or he didn't mean to, but he always goes out of his way to stop these different criminals he's working with from killing other ones. And he has this great remorse whenever one of them dies, he does seem to show remorse. And it's just, he's very unique, and they keep that character about him, that goodness, that good quality about him, so that you really feel for his plight, that he's stuck in this situation. This Kevin Spacey's Doc, he's this criminal mastermind. He's kind of blackmailing Baby at certain points. At one point, Baby thinks he's out of this, gig with Doc, and Doc tells him that he's not out, he can never get out, and that if he tries to leave, Doc tells him that he'll go after his foster father, and Baby's foster father is also Death. So Baby feels the need to protect his foster father in that regards. And, tells him that he'll go after his new girlfriend, Deborah. So Baby kind of gets stuck in the situation, and we just follow him through. So that's just the general gist of the movie, really. like I said, I don't want to go back into explaining every single plot detail, but things I really enjoyed about the movie was the stylistic approach to it. I've heard that Edgar Wright has done this before, and he has a very stylistic, nature to his movies. He sets up each frame, each shot very particularly, and this is my first time seeing one of his movies, and I definitely noticed it. They had one of the beginning scenes, Baby was getting coffee for the other criminals, and as he's walking down the road, he's listening to his music, and to different parts of the song, we would see the words of the song somewhere in the shot immediately when they were being said. So maybe if part of the song said stop, you saw the stop sign on the road. Now that's a little bit of that's an easy one, but there was some parts where there might be graffiti on the wall or a different sign where one of the words happened to be bigger than the other one. One really good one was, I forget what the lyric was, but the lyric they said a word 3 times, like bam, bam, bam. I don't remember if that was right or was. But on the wall, the graffiti, it had the bam, and then the background bam, and then the background bam. I don't know what the particular word for that is when graffiti artists make the shadow effect, or they just make, duplicates right behind the other one. I have no idea what that is. But they do that as well. So that was another awesome part. Adding the stylistic approach of this movie. Also, just obviously the music in general, when it matches up with each scene, with each heist, with whatever moment is going on, with whatever the characters are feeling, you get the sense that each one of these characters or each one of these songs was picked out for every single shot, for every single scene, for every single heist. Another thing that happened in this movie, which was really cool, at one point, Baby's at home with his foster father, and they had the TV on, and Baby's flipping through the channels. And every single channel, there's like a different sentence or something different said by, if it's the news anchor, somebody, the character on the TV show, whatever it may have been. Each line that is said, it talks about Baby in some way. Whether it's what he's feeling, what his next plans are, what he wants from life. They all mean something. So you have to be paying attention, which is really great. I love it when I have to pay attention in the movie and I don't just sit there feeling numb, letting my tongue hang out as I watch big robots fight or, explosions and whatnot. And that's another great thing about this movie is it's got a ton of action, it's got comedy, it's got these tense thrills to it, and it never sacrifices any sort of intelligence. They never, think, you can tell that Edgar Wright and the director never sits there and thinks, if I have enough explosions or, enough jokes, it'll make up for a lack of story. The story is completely there, and every single explosion, every single action sequence, every single joke, all fits, all flows, goes right along with the movie, and it never deters you from the actual story or Baby's journey. And I love it in movies when they do that. That's great. I don't know why you wouldn't love that. I'm sure there are people who don't. Going off of the story, though, Baby's obviously a very likable character. He's got his quirks. He stands out due to his kind of handicaps, with the ringing in his ear, with him needing to play music, with his aspirations. He doesn't want to obviously be working for this doc. He wants to get out. He wants to have his own life. And his interactions and his friendship and love with Deborah also go very well. They go perfectly. I loved watching them interact. It never just felt like, these two characters are just, here's the love interest. It was, we knew what Deborah wanted from life. We knew kind of what Baby wanted from life. And we saw how they interacted, how they meshed, how they complemented each other. And I really liked that in a movie relationship, I know that obviously a pretty girl and a good-looking guy are going to end up together, but show me why they are going to end up together. Why, based on who they are as people, their interests, their likes, all that. And that was all shown very well. But obviously, other than Baby, though, all the side characters, too, are very well done. I loved Kevin Spacey's Doc, John Hamm as Buddy. We had Jamie Foxx as Bats. He did a phenomenal job as well. And then Isaac Gonzalez as Darling. Those are all criminal characters. Doc is the leader. We have Jamie Foxx as Bats. He's this unhinged kind of psychopath that, he's in it for the thrill. He's in it for the crime. He obviously wants to get his pay cut, and he really does truly enjoy, it seems, killing people and hurting people and just committing crimes. He really just enjoys doing those things. Whenever he's on screen, you just have this tension. You feel afraid. You're not sure what Jamie Foxx's Bats is going to do. He is this big foil to Baby, whereas from so far we see that most everyone likes Baby. Baby does his job. He does his job perfectly. He always gets them out. And even though he has his little quirks, like he has to listen to music, everyone's okay with it because Baby always does the job he needs to do. Bats is the first character, really, to just come in and question everything Baby does, to try to catch Baby doing something wrong. You can just tell that Bats has it out for Baby in this movie. And he brought some very scary scenes to the movie. You know, we have a scene in a diner where Deborah, Baby's girlfriend, works. Now, Baby and, company stop by, and they have a scene where you're not sure if Jamie Foxx's Bats is going to actually go out and shoot Deborah, and Baby has to stop him. And there was this, immeasurable tension that I felt. I mean, it was like I was actually in the movie, I was sitting there, my head got warm, and I was scared. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, whether Jamie Foxx was going to shoot Baby right there, if he was going to go after Deborah, if Baby was going to have to shoot him. It was very tense. I had no idea what was going to happen. And that was one of the best parts of this movie, was it was not predictable. I mean, it had twists and turns, as many twists and turns as a Baby does while driving. So really, I just loved this movie. It was a very good movie, like I said. Stylistic, great action, great comedy. And not a lot of comedy. It wasn't overbearing. It didn't outshine any of the action. And it didn't feel forced. Every comedic moment was well placed. It was thrilling, tense. I just loved this movie. Everything was great, from Baby's main protagonist to every single character revolving around him. I do have one type of minor critique or complaint, really, and that was actually directed towards Lily James's Deborah, the main love interest, because I thought they did a good job of setting her up as a good character, as a good partner for Baby, but I thought towards the end, it started to fall too much into a first love, like an all-encompassing first love type of relationship, where she was kind of going along with Baby, and without really questioning too much, and, obviously she can tell that he's with criminals, and she does get roped along. There are moments where it's like, it's against her choice, but she didn't give enough questions, I thought. I think if maybe she would have asked a few questions and maybe he could have answered a few more, I would have been more comfortable with it. But it just seemed, that little bit, it just seemed like she kind of went along too easily. But then again, I feel part of this was supposed to almost give you like a Bonnie Clyde vibe. Like these, two lovers that were also, these kind of in a car chase, doing some sort of criminal act. But it's a very minor complaint. It didn't deter me from the movie, and I still enjoyed Deborah's character. It was just a minor thing. But other than that, I really don't have any complaints about this movie. I highly recommend this movie. I think it's one of the best movies of the summer, if not the best movie of the summer, for all the reasons I said, and once again, because it's an original idea. It's something brand new. We really do need more movies like this one. We need directors and writers to come in, think of a new idea, some sort of new project to work on, and do a good job. It doesn't, a summer blockbuster doesn't necessarily need to be just all explosions. We do, as people, want things to be smarter. We want to be thinking. We really do, even if we pretend like we don't, or we don't realize it. These are the kind of movies that we really do live for. And it was great to see it outdo Transformers this week. Also, by the way, if you haven't noticed my ever so subtle nods towards Transformers during this review. But anyway, once again, I love Baby Driver. Great movie. Definitely go see it. Please write in, comment, rate, subscribe to the video. Let me know if you saw Baby Driver, what you thought of the movie, and if there's any movies you think I should review next. I can tell you right now, next will be Spider-Man Homecoming. I'll be seeing that sometime this week, and I'm very excited, big Spider-Man fan. But come back then to see that, and until then, don't drive like Baby. You're not going to do as well as him.